If your deadlift feels way harder than it should, you're probably making one of these 4 mistakes. Hi, my name is Peter. I'm a personal trainer and an online coach. I've deadlifted over 300 kilos and I've hit 280 kilos for multiple reps and sets in the past. In this video, I'm going to be going over 4 mistakes that you're probably making that is making your deadlift feel way harder than it needs to be. So point number 1, we're going to be talking about you're starting with the barbell too far in front of you. So by that I mean, a lot of the times when guys do set up for a conventional deadlift or maybe even a sumo stance on a deadlift, they'll be starting with the bar while they're looking down, near enough at the tips of their toes. All that's going to create a seesaw effect when you start to lift in that movement, because as you start to lift, your chest is then going to collapse, your hips are going to shoot up, and you're just wasting power that you can be producing in this movement. Point number 2, dropping the hips too low. So by that I mean, people like to think the squat and a deadlift, well, they don't think that the squat and the deadlift is the same, but what they do, they like to replicate the positioning that they're getting down. So they'll like to squat down really low, get a lot of their quads into the movement, take their lower back out of the starting position of the movement completely. And then from that position again, when they start to lift up from the movement, their hips will then rise, the bar will stay on the floor. And again, you're leaking power through poor technique. So starting with the hips too low is point number 2. Point number 3, we're going to be going through not taking the slack out the bar. So by that I mean, whenever you are initiating a pull on a deadlift, there's going to be that little bit of a clicking sound just before you lift the bar off of the floor. And that is just basically you taking the slack out of the bar. Over the years of training, I've tried many different techniques of trying to take the slack out of the bar. So usually what I would do is take a full grip of the bar from that position. Then I would think to myself, keeping my arms long throughout the movement, and I will be raising my hips up to its strongest position. And in that same motion, getting a deep breath, pulling my shoulders then to the back of the room, naturally bringing my hips down lower to the floor, but not too low that I'm going to be doing a seesaw effect. Bringing it lower down to the floor and then starting the pull. And that usually takes the slack out for myself. For yourself, if you are new to the gym, obviously that does come with practice, doing the deadlift. So you aren't going to be able to walk in and do it straight off the bat. There are a lot of different techniques that you can look at to try to take the slack out of the bar as also. Point number 4 is letting the bar drift away from you during the lift. So a lot of the times when guys actually do get the bar off of the floor, the bar will then travel forward and not travel in a straight line. So from the side angle, it will look like the bar goes up to the midfoot and then out in front of the knees and then back up to the top. And doing that is wasting so much energy. So you're not getting that bar in its strongest possible position. So for this movement and for it to stay strong, you need that bar to be traveling in a straight line going up across the midfoot. So from the side position, you want the bar to be standing, half of your foot's going to be in front with half of your foot's behind when you were looking down on the bar. Then from that position, you want to get a good grip of the bar. Then get your slack pulled out. And then from there, you can bring your shoulders to the back of the room, creating a neutral spine. And then looking forward. And it's going to allow your chest to stay open. So when you are trying to lock out in the lift, it's not going to stay in this hitched up position here. You're going to be able to open the chest up and get the pull completed successfully. So before you start adding more exercises to try to get a stronger deadlift, first things first you need to look at is your form and technique. So what I would suggest for yourself to do is having one heavy day for your deadlift and having one lighter day, which is a more of a technique focused day where you're working on your weak points. A good starting point for that is going through a paused deadlift. So a paused deadlift, you're basically getting to that point where you lift the bar off the floor a couple of inches before you actually initiate the lift. That will help you practice keeping the bar over the midfoot throughout the whole time of the movement. That will also help your starting position on the deadlift, so you won't be able to get your hips too low in that movement and perform a good pause deadlift. So performing the pause deadlift for some quality reps will always help. Also, it would help with you pulling the slack out of the bar and help you practice that motion so it becomes repetitive and consistent for your heavier sets. If you found this video useful, drop a like and drop a comment and let me know what your deadlift 1 rep max is. And until next time, I'll see ya.